Hi everyone, it's Jean. So I'm doing a little prep for some envelopes that I'm going to be working on. So what I have done is I've printed out some pages that I really like that I want to use on the envelopes. Most of these are pictures that I got off of Pixabay. If you've ever used Pixabay before, you can use them in your work, but they belong to the people that actually design them. So if you want them for your own, I think you have to purchase a license or something for, I don't know how much it is. But what I'm going to do is the color on these is just a little bit too bright for me. So I'm going to go along some of these edges, some of these places, and just mute the page down a little bit. And I'm doing that with some gesso. I hope you can see. Now some places will be more so than others because this is copy paper and I don't want to saturate it. So I'm just basically preparing the paper so that when I use them to cover my envelopes, they're not well, it's also so that I don't have to do it on top of the envelope, but also they're not so bright for the project that I have, and I'll let them dry then and they'll be ready for when I want to make the actual envelope. So this is what I do. I just take my huge bottle of gesso and I just kind of go over some of the places that I want to lighten. I still have all my scrap paper here from when I was working on my little houses. So I will use some of that probably when I'm doing my envelopes. So that's basically what I'm doing to prepare the images. It saves a little time and it mutes them down a little bit so they're not so in your face bright. Now this is a very beautiful background page and I'm going to try to just go light-handed on this around the edges because I don't want to cover up. Gesso has the tendency, especially, now this is not a thick one, this is just a regular one, but gesso does have the tendency to really cover up and mute images if you use too much. So what I try to do is use when I just want a little bit and I still want to be able to see the images through, I just do kind of like this dry brush method that I'm doing right now. So I can still see the butterfly. I can still see some of the, flowers that are around it, but it's more muted, which is more my aesthetic. So I have two of these, so I'm going to do this other one. This one I did portrait, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush and go over some of these places and then brush it out. This is not something you have to do. You you can leave your images plain. You can choose to print some that are lighter than what I chose to print. But sometimes when you're looking at them on the computer and then they come out on the printer, they do have a different appearance sometimes. So these guys needed muted down some. Okay, so there's those. That way I can tear pieces and use them. Now these are some images that I made with the little girls blowing the dandelions. I'm not going to mute these, but my printer was running out of ink on that one, so I need to replace the ink really quick. This one doesn't need a whole lot of gesso. I'll probably put some up here just because it's so teal, but I love this color. This teal color is pretty. Also, if you want to take an image and you want to, I'm going to make up a new word here, shabbyfy it. This is another way to do that, is to take a dry brush and just kind of gently go over your image. Whichever way you want to go, you can go up and down with the brush or sideways. And what that does is it mutes that image a little bit, so it gives it more of a white chippy paint look, which is what I like. So now this one is also a butterfly image, and it's these colors over here are not bad at all, but let's do the streak method on this one and see if we can't just lighten it up a tiny bit. That way we know we'll have these all done. So I've been saving up some business envelopes because I want to do some. I really enjoy doing business envelopes, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with this. Okay, this one I love because it's almost like 1970s paneling. I don't know if that's coming back in or not. I don't know. I'm trying to think if we still have paneling anywhere. Oh wait, we do in this room, I forgot. We still have paneling in this room, probably from the 80s or something. This is an old house. My mom teases me every time because I tell her that my desk runs downhill all the time. And she said that years ago, builders built their houses the way they built boats. And so a lot of times they built them going inward. So that's why there's a kind of a slope, I think. These are really nice, and I will probably try to make something similar like this on my own. But what I love about these images are this is probably supposed to be kind of like an adobe or maybe a cement that was painted over. But what I love about this particular piece is how they incorporated the oranges and the pink together, because that's like my jam right now, the orange and the pink. So I'm digging that. Now there are some stripes in this, and it's coming from my machine almost being out of ink. So I'm gonna try to get those so that they don't show so bad. I'm not seeing them as much tonight, but probably in the day I will. And so with this one, I just want to kind of enhance the background where it's already been done with the artist's rendition. So I don't want to cover it up so much. I just want to kind of, you know, give it a little bit different look. Now this door is a little dark for me, so I am going to whitewash the door a little bit. And this up here is not really what I'm going for, but we'll see if we use it anyway, since I kind of covered it up. So we will, let me do this with the door, and that's pretty much all I need to do with this one. Now this one hopefully will dry quickly, because I want to come back and show you some other things that I'm going to do with that page. Now this one is the same. It has that orange and pink kind of look. However, it's more faded out than the other one was. Now what I'm doing here is I can see the pink streaks from the machine. So I'm going to try to cover those up a little bit. Let me go down here. I want to go by the bicycle. And I'm just sewing around the edge so that I can extend also my use of the paper, because there's a border here. And if you do that, that gives you more to work with, right? Oh yeah, that looks good. So the more you play with this technique of the dry brushing with the gesso, the more interesting it becomes. Like I love, I'll hold this up a little bit. I love how that door came out. So my son's been working really late, so I thought I'd come over here and work on this a little bit, because it's making me nervous that he's working late. Almost forgot about this one. This one is a really cute wildlife scene. I love it. It's the colors, the muted colors that I like, but I don't know if you can see this. Down here at the bottom, you can see where the ink was running out. So I'm going to, let me flip this over. I'm gonna go ahead and gesso over that. When you get your gesso too thick, just use your fingers. It doesn't hurt anything. And it comes off, especially when you wash your hair. So I'm also going to dry brush some of the foliage. I don't want too much on here. Like I said, it looks really good. I just wanted to cover up some of this that's the wrong color because of the printer. We probably won't use down there that far anyway. Okay, there we go. So this one doesn't have a whole lot of gesso on it, so it will dry pretty quick. Let me get the ones that have the photo ones. A moment. I have a big glob of gesso on me, so I'm going to put up here. Gesso is funny, though. You could almost paint your fingernails with it. It wouldn't last, but you could do it. Okay, so I'm sure these are dry. It's very warm in here. So you can see more or less where I've gessoed here and here. So I'm going to take some of my ink and I'm going to take some this script stamp, and I don't want it to be extremely dark. I just want it to be in a couple small places. So if you can see, I'm not pressing down too hard because I only want to get a couple letters maybe in a couple different places. And then what we'll do is, like I said earlier, we'll use this on our junk mail envelope, and this is going to be really, really a cool picture. I want to try something over here. Kind of where I got the streaks from the streaks. I'm not sure how this will work watercolor wise. Okay, it's because it's on this kind of paper, so it's not really working to spread the watercolor. But that's okay, we have an interesting color over there. And actually, I think I'm gonna just leave it. I'm just gonna leave it with the stamping on it. So you can see with the gesso and the stamping, it kind of makes that image a little bit more unique and ours. Does that splotch up there at the top look like a bunny? It's kind of like cloud watching, right? Okay, let's trade places. Okay, so this one needs a little bit more. So let me see if I have any ink left. Oh yeah. I think it's a kind of an interesting thing whenever you see writing on building. I think graffiti's pretty cool. Some graffiti, some of it is not very inviting, but some I like. I don't know. Let me look if I have my stamp here somewhere. I can't look very well because it's dark. I have been fussing at my husband to get me some better lighting for sure. For sure. Okay, I do have one little stencil here we can use. I don't have any modeling paste. I have to make myself some. The last modeling paste I had, just in this heat, it dried up really fast, so I'll have to contact the manufacturer about that one. Okay, let me move this paper because I know I have I didn't plan on stenciling, so I didn't get my brush out. But I do have some rusty hinge on here. So let's see if anything comes through when we do stencil here. May have to stencil a little bit more. Let's see if it's making any very lightly. So let's see where, over here's the rusty hinge. So let me ink this up a little bit better. That could be the problem. Yeah, there you go. Now you're going to see more because I put a little bit more ink on there. And if you lift that up, we have some over on this side, which is kind of where I wanted them because this side is a little bit blanker than the other side. So we have a couple little stars here and there. We'll put some over here where this gesso was. Let's see if it takes. And there we go. We have a couple stars on there. Not anything out of this world. And we're keeping within the color theme, so I'll be able to use this nicely on an envelope. Let me go over here with these tiny ones. Okay. I love how that turned out with the stars. So let me go ahead and close this. Now there's other ways, of course, that you can prepare your images for using them on a certain project. If you want to go the length of using your paste and using different colored pencils and other items to kind of enhance the picture, you can. I think personally that a lighter hand is better, at least at the beginning. And then when you get this on your envelope that you're going to be decorating, you will decide if you need to have more gesso, more stamping, more stenciling, more decorating at that point. So this is, I'm pretty sure they are probably all dry. So here's this one. Here's the butterfly one, so that muted that one down nicely. And here are the roses on the books. And which other ones did I have? Our little deer, we didn't do much on them. They're so dear. This one, I just mainly, this one I really put some on the butterfly. I wanted it to be lighter. This one also, I had a little heavier hand on some of the places. And then, of course, this one. And then this last butterfly one. So, you know, get your stamps out, your stencils, anything that you want to do to enhance your images, and then you can go from there in applying them to your projects. So for right now, I'm going to leave this right here, and then I'm going to come back and we are going to work on some business envelopes. And I have a bunch that are all the same size. But the cool thing about these is they have different types of windows. So we'll have to decide what kind of images or what have you we're going to put inside our envelopes. Are we going to make them shorter? Are we going to make them side pockets, front pockets, sew them? What are we going to do? So I'm going to work on that for tomorrow. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye for now.